Welcome to today's story of love, life, and betrayal. For more free stories and entertainment from our channel, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe with notifications. Now, let's dive into The Championship Conspiracy, a story that proves sometimes the best way to tackle your problems is to let your opponent score an own goal. Harriet Winter sat in the locker room of Riverside Community College, staring at the email on her phone that had just turned her victory celebration into a nightmare. The subject line read, "Urgent, scholarship investigation, immediate response required." But this wasn't just any scholarship investigation. This was about the full-ride Division Y scholarship to State University that Harriet had earned through 4 years of blood, sweat, and dedication as Riverside's star quarterback. The scholarship that was supposed to change her life and get her out of her small town forever. The email was from Coach Martinez at State University, and it contained accusations that made Harriet's hands shake with rage. "We have received information suggesting that your academic transcripts and athletic achievements may have been falsified. We are launching an immediate investigation into your eligibility." Attached to the email were copies of anonymous tips claiming that Harriet had cheated on her SATs, that her game statistics had been inflated, and that she'd never actually led Riverside to their championship victory last season. Every single accusation was completely false, but Harriet knew exactly who had sent them. Madison Clearwater. Madison had been Riverside's starting quarterback until Harriet transferred to the school 3 years ago. From day one, Madison had made it clear that she resented having to compete for the position she'd considered rightfully hers. The competition had been fierce but fair, until Coach Reynolds had chosen Harriet as the starter based on her stronger arm, better field vision, and superior leadership skills during scrimmages. Madison had not taken the demotion gracefully. For 3 years, Madison had been the perfect picture of a supportive teammate in public while systematically undermining Harriet behind the scenes. She'd accidentally give Harriet wrong information about practice times, conveniently forget to pass along messages from coaches, and spread subtle rumors about Harriet's work ethic and team commitment. But Madison's sabotage had escalated dramatically when college scouts started showing interest in Harriet during their senior season. It had started with small acts of interference. Madison would interrupt Harriet's conversations with scouts, offering to show them alternative film footage that highlighted Madison's own skills instead. She'd scheduled team meetings during times when Harriet was supposed to meet with recruiters, then claim Harriet was being selfish for missing team obligations. When State University offered Harriet the full-ride scholarship, the same scholarship Madison had been desperately hoping to receive, Madison's behavior had become openly hostile. "You don't deserve that scholarship," Madison had hissed after the announcement. "I've been here longer, I know the system better, and my family has connections that could actually help the program." Madison's family did have connections. Her father was a prominent local businessman who donated heavily to the college's athletic department, and her mother sat on the school board. Madison had grown up assuming that her family's influence would smooth her path to a college scholarship. The revelation that merit mattered more than connections had apparently driven Madison to desperate measures. The anonymous tips sent to State University were clearly Madison's work. They contained details about Harriet's background that only someone with access to team records would know, and the writing style matched Madison's overly formal academic papers that Harriet had helped her edit for English class. But the tips had been crafted cleverly. They raised questions that would be difficult to investigate quickly, and they came at the worst possible time, just 3 weeks before Harriet was supposed to report to State University for summer training. Harriet knew that even if she could eventually prove her innocence, the investigation process might take months. State University might withdraw their scholarship offer rather than deal with the uncertainty, and by then, all the other scholarship opportunities would be gone. Madison had timed her sabotage perfectly to destroy Harriet's future while maintaining plausible deniability about her own involvement. But Harriet Winter hadn't become the best quarterback in the county by giving up when the game got tough. If Madison wanted to play dirty, Harriet was going to show her what a real championship strategy looked like. Harriet's first move was to gather intelligence. She spent the next day carefully documenting everything she could about Madison's own college applications and scholarship attempts. What she discovered was interesting. Madison had applied to 12 different schools and had been rejected by all of them except for 2 small Division III programs that had offered her partial academic scholarships, not the full athletic scholarships she'd been hoping for. More importantly, Harriet learned that Madison was still desperately trying to secure a last-minute athletic scholarship somewhere, anywhere that would save face for her family and justify her years of football dedication. Madison had been telling everyone that she was considering her options and taking time to choose the best fit, but the truth was that she was running out of time and opportunities. This gave Harriet an idea, a beautifully devious idea that would give Madison exactly what she wanted, while ensuring she got exactly what she deserved. Harriet created a fake email account using the name Robert Stevenson and claimed to be an assistant coach at Northfield University, a fictional Division I school that Harriet invented, complete with a professional-looking website she built using free online tools. The fake website was a masterpiece of deception. Harriet used stock photos of a beautiful campus, actually combining images from 3 different real universities, created faculty profiles using AI-generated headshots and biographical information borrowed from various real coaches at other schools, and even designed a fictional football program history complete with championship records and notable alumni. The website looked completely legitimate, complete with official-looking logos, academic program information, and a convincing athletics department section that highlighted their premier women's football program. Then Coach Stevenson sent Madison an email expressing interest in recruiting her for Northfield University's football program. "Dear Madison," the email read, "I've been following your impressive career at Riverside Community College, and I'm writing to gauge your interest in joining our Division I women's football program at Northfield University. Based on your statistics and leadership record, we believe you could be an excellent fit for our team culture and academic environment." The email mentioned specific details about Madison's performance that Harriet had gathered from team records, making it appear that Coach Stevenson had done serious research into Madison's background. Madison's response was immediate and enthusiastic. She was very interested in learning more about Northfield's program and would be honored to be considered for their team. Over the next week, Coach Stevenson engaged Madison in an elaborate recruitment process. He sent her detailed information about Northfield's innovative training program, their state-of-the-art facilities, and their commitment to developing both athletic and academic excellence. He also mentioned that Northfield was prepared to offer Madison a full athletic scholarship, complete with housing, meal plans, and a generous stipend for training equipment. Madison was over the moon. She immediately began telling everyone about her incredible opportunity at Northfield University, posting about her recruitment on social media and bragging to teammates about how her superior football IQ had finally been recognized by a top-tier program. But Harriet's revenge was just beginning. Coach Stevenson informed Madison that Northfield had a unique evaluation process that required prospective players to demonstrate their commitment by completing several preliminary requirements before the official scholarship offer could be finalized. First, Madison needed to submit a comprehensive personal statement about her football philosophy and leadership style. Harriet used this essay to gather detailed information about Madison's insecurities, motivations, and future plans. Second, Madison needed to complete a series of fitness challenges and submit video evidence of her performance. This gave Harriet hours of footage of Madison doing increasingly ridiculous exercises that Coach Stevenson claimed were essential for success in Northfield's system. Third, and most importantly, Madison needed to demonstrate her commitment to team unity by publicly acknowledging any past conflicts with teammates and showing how she'd grown from those experiences. This was where Harriet's plan became truly brilliant. Coach Stevenson explained that Northfield University had a zero-tolerance policy for interpersonal drama and required all incoming players to demonstrate their maturity by publicly addressing any past conflicts or controversies. We've received some concerning reports about your relationship with a teammate named Harriet Winter, the email explained. Before we can finalize your scholarship offer, we need you to demonstrate that you can take responsibility for any role you may have played in team conflicts and show that you're committed to positive team dynamics going forward. Madison was initially resistant, claiming that any conflicts had been entirely Harriet's fault and that she had always been a supportive teammate. But when Coach Stevenson suggested that failure to address these concerns might jeopardize her scholarship opportunity, Madison's tune changed quickly. She agreed to write a public social media post acknowledging her past mistakes and demonstrating her growth as a team leader. The post Madison published was everything Harriet had hoped for and more. I want to take a moment to reflect on my senior season and acknowledge that I haven't always been the teammate I should have been, Madison wrote. I've been dealing with disappointment about not receiving the college opportunities I hoped for, and I realize that I may have taken some of that frustration out on my teammate, Harriet Winter. The post continued, Harriet is an exceptional quarterback who earned her starting position through hard work and talent. I'm ashamed to admit that I let jealousy affect my behavior, and I may have said or done things that undermined her success. I want to publicly apologize to Harriet and to my entire team for not being the supportive leader they deserved. Madison concluded by announcing her exciting opportunity at Northfield University and thanking Harriet for showing me what true leadership looks like. The post went viral within the Riverside community. Teammates, coaches, and classmates were shocked by Madison's public admission of sabotage and impressed by what they saw as genuine remorse and personal growth. But the real impact was on the investigation into Harriet's scholarship. When State University's coaches saw Madison's public confession, particularly her admission that she had said or done things that undermined Harriet's success, they immediately connected it to the anonymous tips they'd received about Harriet's eligibility. A quick investigation revealed that the IP address used to send the anonymous emails traced back to Madison's home computer, and handwriting analysis of the tips matched Madison's writing samples from school records. State University immediately dropped their investigation into Harriet's eligibility and sent a formal apology for questioning her credentials based on what they now realized was a malicious attempt to sabotage a deserving student-athlete. They also assured Harriet that her scholarship was secure and that they were looking forward to having her join their program. But Harriet wasn't finished with her revenge yet. 2 weeks after Madison's public confession, Coach Stevenson sent her a final email. Dear Madison, it read, thank you for your interest in our program and for your impressive demonstration of personal growth through your public acknowledgement of past mistakes. Your willingness to take responsibility for your actions shows the kind of character we value at Northfield University. The email continued. However, After careful consideration and consultation with our athletic department, we have decided to pursue other candidates for our remaining scholarship positions. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors and commend you for the maturity you've shown throughout this process." Madison was devastated. She had publicly humiliated herself, confessed to sabotaging a teammate, and burned bridges with her local community, all for a scholarship that had never actually existed. But the story took an unexpected turn when Madison showed up at Harriet's house 3 days later. Harriet opened the door to find Madison standing on her front porch, looking nothing like the confident, entitled athlete she'd once been. Madison's eyes were red from crying, and she looked genuinely devastated. "I know it was you," Madison said quietly. Harriet considered denying it, but something in Madison's expression made her pause. "I figured it out when I tried to call Northfield University directly," Madison continued. "The phone number on the website goes to a disconnected line, and when I looked up the address, it's actually a strip mall in Nevada." Harriet waited for accusations or threats, but instead, Madison said something unexpected. "I deserved it." "What?" Harriet was genuinely surprised. "I deserved everything you did to me," Madison said, her voice shaking. "I tried to destroy your future because I was jealous and entitled and couldn't handle losing fairly. You gave me exactly what I gave you, a taste of having your dreams destroyed by someone you trusted." Madison looked up at Harriet with genuine remorse. "The difference is, you earned your scholarship and I tried to steal it from you. You created a fake opportunity, but I created real damage to a real person." Harriet found herself feeling unexpectedly sympathetic. "I've been thinking about what I wrote in that post," Madison continued. "I said it because I thought I had to, but everything in it was true. I did let jealousy make me a terrible teammate, and you are an exceptional quarterback who deserved every opportunity you got." Madison took a deep breath. "I know I have no right to ask for forgiveness, but I wanted to tell you that I'm grateful for what you did. You showed me who I had become, and I don't like that person." Harriet studied Madison's face, looking for signs of manipulation or deception, but saw only genuine regret. "What are you going to do now?" Harriet asked. "I'm going to Westfield College on the academic scholarship they offered," Madison said. "No football, just academics. I'm going to focus on my education and try to become someone I can actually respect." Madison hesitated, then added, "I also wanted to tell you that I sent a letter to State University explaining exactly what I did and why. I told them the truth about the anonymous tips and formally apologized for trying to sabotage your scholarship. I wanted to make sure there was no chance my actions could ever hurt you again." Harriet was surprised by this gesture. Madison had already been exposed, so the letter served no purpose other than ensuring Harriet's complete protection. "Thank you," Harriet said, and meant it. "I have one more thing to ask," Madison said nervously. "I know this is crazy, but would you be willing to teach me how to throw a proper spiral? I've been working on my form for 4 years, and I still can't get it right. I'm not asking as someone who wants to compete with you. I'm asking as someone who wants to learn from the best quarterback I've ever played with." Harriet looked at Madison, really looked at her, and saw something she'd never seen before: humility. "Okay," Harriet said, "but we're doing this the right way. No shortcuts, no excuses, and you have to promise to actually listen to feedback instead of arguing with it." Madison's face lit up with genuine gratitude. "I promise. And Harriet, thank you for not giving up on the idea that I might be capable of becoming a better person." Over the next month, Harriet worked with Madison on her throwing technique, and something unexpected happened. They became friends. Real friends, not fake teammates or bitter rivals, but genuine friends who respected each other's abilities and supported each other's goals. Madison turned out to be a dedicated student when she wasn't consumed by jealousy and entitlement. She had insights about defensive strategies that impressed Harriet, and she was actually funny when she wasn't busy being resentful. More importantly, Madison became one of Harriet's biggest advocates. When local sports reporters wanted to write stories about Harriet's scholarship and state university career, Madison volunteered to be interviewed about Harriet's leadership and talent. "Harriet Winter is the most naturally gifted quarterback I've ever played with," Madison told the local newspaper. "She has the kind of field vision and arm strength that you see maybe once in a generation. State University is lucky to have her, and I'm proud to say I was her teammate." The article became a source of enormous pride for Harriet's family and helped establish her reputation in the local community as someone who had truly earned her success. 6 months later, when Harriet was thriving in her first season at State University, she received a text from Madison. "Just wanted you to know I made Dean's List this semester," the message read. "I finally figured out how to work as hard at academics as you always worked at football. Thanks for showing me what real dedication looks like." Harriet smiled and texted back, "Knew you had it in you. Now let's see if you can keep it up next semester." "Challenge accepted," Madison replied. "By the way, I'm starting a youth football camp this summer for kids who want to learn proper fundamentals. Any chance the State University star quarterback might be willing to make a guest appearance?" Harriet thought about it for a moment, then typed back, "I'll bring my playbook. Time to teach the next generation how to throw a real spiral." As Harriet reflected on the whole experience, she realized that her revenge had accomplished something she'd never expected. It hadn't just punished Madison for her sabotage, it had actually transformed Madison into someone worth knowing. The fake scholarship scheme had been designed to humiliate and expose Madison, but it had ended up giving Madison the opportunity to confront her own behavior and choose to become a better person. Sometimes, Harriet thought, the best revenge isn't destroying your enemy. It's giving them the chance to destroy the worst parts of themselves and rebuild something better. The championship conspiracy had become the championship transformation, and Harriet had learned that the most satisfying victory wasn't beating your opponent. It was helping them become worthy opponents who could push you to be even better. As Harriet often told the story later to her teammates at State University, sometimes the best way to win the game is to help your opponent learn how to play it properly. The revenge had been perfect, but the friendship that grew from it was even better. Thanks for listening to today's story of love, life, and betrayal. For more free stories and entertainment from our channel, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe with notifications.